This is track 14, When the Worst Thing Happens. Hey, creatives. I'm C. Jordan Blacara, and welcome to the Whispering Worth to the World podcast. I'm a master certified life and artist coach who specializes in working with creatives. This is where I share what I would tell my younger self if I could, what I've learned about the art of being human, about our inherent divine equality, and how it all relates to navigating our creative expression in the world. Sixth grade, after school, the eighth grade boy I had a crush on had come over with his best friend, my classmate, and we were hanging out on the front porch. I remember a lot of awkward silences, and the most awkward silence I can recall is the one where, try as I might to avoid the unthinkable, believe me, if I could have kept my body from doing what it did, I would have. No doubt about it. So in the midst of an already deadly silence right there in front of both of them, I farted. And in the aftermath, staring at the cement below me, frozen in a kind of deer in the headlights moment, I noticed in my peripheral vision the ever so slight glancing of eyes in my direction by both of them. Oh my God, yes, they had heard it. Can you say mortified? And then if that wasn't enough, more silence. Can you say sheer mortification? It was the fart that we dare not speak its name, and none of us did. And eventually one of them broke the silence, and not by breaking wind, which probably would have been the most humane thing to do. After all, mortification does love company. Sometimes the worst thing that we think could happen does happen. For a sixth grader with a crush on an eighth grader, does it really get any worse? But you know what? I carried on. The earth didn't stop turning on its axis. Life kept moving forward. I went on to do homework, eat dinner, watch some TV, and even to attend school the next day, though I considered dropping out right then and there. When the worst thing does happen, we might feel mortification, embarrassment, or humiliation. But please know that feeling mortified does not mean that you or I am a mortifying person. Please know that feeling embarrassed does not mean that you or I am embarrassing. If the vibration of humiliation is present in our bodies, it does not mean that we are humiliating. We are simply having an emotion. We are experiencing an emotion, but we are not the emotion. And if we let the feeling crest like a wave, it will recede into the ocean of our life in about 90 seconds. If we can just let it move through as naturally as a wave, it will recede in about 90 seconds. Then we can find our way through mortification, embarrassment, and humiliation. And in the end, pun intended, see what I did there? There was nothing I could do to change what had happened. What was farted was farted. There was no going back. But there was going on, going forward, going through. I don't need to fear the worst that could happen, nor farting in public at the most inopportune moment in front of that guy. Whatever happens, I will go on, I will go forward, I will go through. So that was the sixth grade. Now, let me take you to yesterday. I was coaching an artist who had experienced a catastrophic weather event in their town, which affected their own property and their own home and caused a lot of disruption. And this artist who came for coaching wanted to be reassured that this passage in her life would come to an end. She had dealt with people helping her fix her place, getting the water out, bailing the water out, repairs, insurance, all the things. She wanted to be reassured that this was going to come to an end. And I told her I could lean in on that. It's likely that this is coming to an end. Things can and do run their course, but let me tell you this story. When my mom had Alzheimer's, what I would do in my end of the rope moments, when I felt like I was at my wit's end, I didn't know how much more I could take, I would go look at the Alzheimer's paperwork that I had collected during my education process about this disease. And I would look at, if she was in stage 4, about how many years might this go on? If she was in stage 5, about how many years would this go on? If she was in stage 7, about how many more years did I have to endure this emotional roller coaster and this physical roller coaster that was happening? How long does this disease last? And I remember 8 years is what comes to mind. I remember thinking, okay, can I do it? Can I get through 8 more years? This might come to an end in 8 years. I hope it is not 10 years. I hope it is not 12 years, because this is difficult. I wanted some assurance that I could survive, that there would be an end to this, because there was so much uncertainty with this disease. Would she wander? Would she get lost? Would I be able to find her if she wandered off? Would she eventually get violent? Would she forget where or how to use the restroom? Would that become crazy town in my house? Would I be able to find a suitable facility for her when it was no longer tenable to keep her living with me? Would her money last her lifetime? How would this affect my finances? How would this affect my emotional health and well-being? If my sleep got disrupted, would I be able to maintain my sanity and well-being for the duration of this disease? Would I be able to continue working at home while she was living with me at home in my own home? Because Alzheimer's can be a high demand disease. So all of that uncertainty, there were no answers, right? I had no crystal ball. I could not know the answers to those questions and many more that were running rampant in my brain. So I get that uncertainty sucks hard. And this artist likely wanted her life to get back to normal. She wanted to get back to creating, to back to exploring her art and becoming the artist that she wants to be. And that life had become pretty inconvenient and disruptive, and that she was just about done with all that uncertainty. And she wanted the reassurance that it would indeed come to an end. But I believe that we have no control of the larger forces of life. We do not control life's circumstances. And if I reassured her or you that a passage in your life would be over soon, I would be disingenuous. I would be lying through my teeth. I don't pretend to know the timing of the universe. I don't pretend to know that if big challenge number 2 is going to arrive in your life before big challenge number 1 has come to an end. I don't know if big challenge number 1 comes to an end, how much respite you will have, or how much normalcy and certainty, quote unquote certainty, you will have before big challenge number 2 comes, or challenge 3, 4, 5, or 6. But I do know that uncertainty sucks for humans. Our brains have evolved to be allergic to uncertainty. In fact, we persist as a species because of that aversion to uncertainty. We want to know that what we eat won't kill us, that it's not poisonous. We want to know where we can get some food for the next day. We want to know that we will have shelter at night. We want to know that the species will go on. But I know that while we cannot control the larger forces of life, we can increase our capacity to experience the uncertainty. We can change our relationship to the uncertainty of life. I don't know who said it. It might have been a religion, but uncertainty is the only certain thing, right? That pretty much sucks hard for us humans. We don't like that at all. So what I do know is that we can increase our compassion for ourselves as we experience uncertainty like this. Of course, dear sweet self, you don't like this one bit. You don't like this flooding. You don't like this uncertainty about when things will return to normal. This is not your favorite. You don't like the disruptions. You don't like the inconvenience. You don't like feeling frustrated. And you would just like for this all to come to an end so that life can go on as normal, as you planned. There in the future seems so much better when I am past this annoying passage is going to be so much better than where I am right here. But whether you're here or whether you're there, you will still be a human meeting what life brings you, which sometimes feels like more than you can handle, certainly more than you want to handle. So yes, craving the certainty, the normalcy, the predictability, life matching what you expect it to be is normal. But the truth is, we don't know what's coming next. We didn't see the pandemic coming, and yet it came and it stayed. We thought in the beginning it might be over after a 2-week shutdown, but there were no true reassurances that that would be the case. Sometimes the uncertain thing is emailing a friend your most recent paintings and waiting for a reply. You have no idea what is that reply going to be. Loved it, hated it, crickets for 1 day, 2 days, 3 days, a week. You have no idea. Musicians, you have a gig. Who will show up? How big will the audience be? And will they like your music or your performance? Actors, you toil on a production. You finally get cast. You build your character. You rehearse. You do tech. You advertise. You show up to costume fittings. And then it's opening night. Will there be an audience for the run of your show? Will there be more empty seats than filled seats? Will that person you so want to impress with your performance be impressed or not? Maybe someone affiliated with the music business, a publisher, promoter, manager says, send me your demo. You send the demo and there is silence, interminable silence. Maybe the pinnacle of your career is to finally get cast in a Broadway show. How long will it take? How long do you ever get cast in a Broadway show? And then maybe, well, hang on, how long? How long will it take? You've been auditioning. All the uncertainty. Will they cast you? Will they not cast you? Will you be the right quote unquote type? Will you not be? And then if you do get cast, will the production go all the way to being put up on Broadway? And then if it does get put up, will it close after 2 weeks after the reviews come out, or will it not? No guarantees. There have been Broadway shows that close after 2 weeks. So much uncertainty. Nothing is guaranteed. Or visual artists. You get a one-person show. Amazing. So exciting, right? You've been waiting for this all of your artistic life. And now you need to create a new body of work. Oh shit. Will you be able to create the work? Uncertainty. How good will it be? We don't know for sure. Will the gallerist like the work that you create for that one-person show? Will they rescind the show after they see the work if they don't like it? Then if they do like it, if the show goes on, if it gets mounted, if the work gets hung on the walls, what will the critics say? What will your friends and family say? Will the audience get the work? Will anyone buy the work? Or will the exhibit run and not one piece be sold? Those are so many uncertain things all along the creative path. And even if you have a track record, in my experience and my observation of other creators, that may be of little reassurance, because even still, we know nothing is guaranteed. Uncertainty may visit you. You may feel uncertain, and you may not like it one bit. But uncertainty will be your companion on your creative path. What happens when your art meets other people, meets the world, none of us knows for sure. When that 8th grader came over after school to my house, oh my God, the most amazing thing happens. I think he likes me. He's coming over. Isn't that cool? Amazing. And then, did I think that I would fart that day? No, I did not. It was not my favorite at all. Completely uncertain. No guarantees that I am not scintillating and scintillating conversationalist during that encounter there after school at all. There's no guarantee that it goes the way I want it to go, because what happened was not the way that I would want it to go. So this is what I recommend that you might lean into, artists, creatives, humans who might be going through a difficult passageway. Can you support yourself in your full humanity, in your full human experience, which includes a shit ton of uncertainty? This is not what I expected or prefer, and I will do my level best to not make it worse by lamenting how long it's taking to get through this passage or this challenge. And in supporting yourself in your full human experience, can we stand shoulder to shoulder with ourselves and walk ourselves through our day-to-day life, not knowing when or if the hard thing, the uncertain thing that we're facing comes to an end? Can I use this to make this promise to myself? I will be here with you, self, as long as it takes. I will be compassionate while you are in pain over this, as long as it takes. Yes, I sometimes may forget, I may get impatient, but I promise you, self, that I will return to an open heart, to kindness, to supporting you as you journey forward. And then one day, the clouds may part and the sun may shine through, and you can breathe a sigh of relief that you made it through. And you will know, come what may, I will not forsake myself. I can count on myself to be there for myself. So I, Jordan, will not reassure you of something I have no business reassuring you about. What life is going to do and whatever timeline it may be operating according to, I do not know. I do not know the lessons you are calling to yourself. I do not even know the lessons I am calling to myself. But if it shows up in my life, I have probably called it to myself. So you can promise yourself that you will be there for yourself no matter what, and for no matter how long it takes to get through this, as long as it takes. And you can learn to fulfill that promise, not just to make that promise, but to fulfill that promise to yourself, maybe imperfectly, not 100% all the time, but returning to fulfilling that promise to yourself. And that is worthy work for a human to do for their own benefit. And knowing that you will be there for yourself is one of the most reassuring things you can do for yourself. Hey creatives, want to learn more? Go to www.createanyway.today/about.